Welcome to the Wigan Cult Film Club podcast.
How do, film freaks, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Wigan Cult Film Club podcast. I'm your host, Tony. I am one of the founding members of Wigan Cult Film Club. I thought we'd start the ball rolling really right at the beginning, what we actually do, why we do it, and where we do it. So for a good number of years, a good few friends of mine, we've got together sort of like at random times to go and watch the odd cult film. And what we started noticing over the years, that local cinema chains weren't showing that much. We had the unfortunate thing in Wigan where the local cinema, the only cinema in Wigan, was an Empire cinema. And that cinema closed, as you all know. The majority of Empire cinemas closed nationwide. And that left us in a bit of a quandary. The closest cinema to us in Wigan would be View at Bolton at Middlebrook, or our good friends over at Lee Film Factory in Lee. But as a town itself, Wigan, we no longer offered any kind of sort of movie-going entertainment. Now, that's a shame, because Wigan had a good heritage of good local cinemas back in the day. Any of you guys that are watching this that are from the Wigan area and you're around my age, so I would say from your late 30s onwards, you guys will know the likes of the Ritz Cinema that was in the heart of Wigan, that was in the centre of Wigan, and Unit 4 Cinema that was up at Pemberton. There were some fantastic cinemas. They were great. I mean, we spent more time as a family, as my family, at Unit 4 Cinema than we did at the Ritz Cinema. And Unit 4, I have got real good fond memories for. And I suppose, like any other town, any other city, those kinds of cinemas did really well back in the day. But as things started to change, those cinemas went by the way, and your sort of massive multiplexes started to take over. And that was no exception in Wigan. So back, I can't even remember sort of when it opened, the late 90s, we got a huge multiplex just built on the outskirts of Wigan. And for everyone that knows that cinema back in the day, it was a Virgin cinema when it first opened, which was cool. And then Virgin sold out to someone else. For the love of God, I can't remember who that was at the time. And then they sold out, and eventually it became Empire. But over the years, you could sort of see the cracks forming. These cinemas were underperforming. I mean, Empire that we had in Wigan, it was a shame really that the last few years, even before COVID sort of hit, it was pretty much dead in the water. It wasn't offering much. There was sort of your mainstream titles, but even in the foyer, it wasn't doing much. I mean, when it first opened, God, it had a shop in there that was doing collectibles and posters. There was a bar upstairs. There was things going on that you could go into the cinema for, other than just watching a film, which in my eyes makes it a good social place to go. But over the years, obviously, as things like that started to dry up and things like that, people stopped caring about. It went by the way, and then, as we know, Empire Cinema went the way of the dodo. So, friends of mine, myself, family members, you then sort of pushed into an area. Well, where'd you go and what do you do? And yeah, Lee's got a multiplex. West Orton's got a multiplex. Lee's got a little independent cinema. Now, I'm a big fan and more of the favourite of the smaller cinema. So the guys that run Lee Film Factory, they do a phenomenal job. They've got a one-screen cinema over in Lee, a little independent place that's set up in a mill, Spinner's Mill for everyone that knows it. It's fantastic. It's right up our alley as a club. We tend to favour the more obscure, say, B-movie cult kind of film, rather than the mainstream. Yeah, mainstream cinema's got its place, but the members of the club tend to lean towards cult side of cinema, which is great for what we do. So Lee Film Factory offer a fantastic variety of films over the year. They're really good people. It's done as a sort of independent setup where the money that they take goes back into the cinema and helps them promote and produce a better experience, which is fantastic in my book. Your multiplex over at Lee and over at Bolton, they've sort of got into the mindset now of, well, if we show some old school film, if we show some cult stuff, and show some 70s and 80s classics, people will come, and that seems to be a thing. So no longer are these cinemas just looking at the sort of AAA mainstream titles, but they're going back and showing some good old school films. So as a club, when we first formed, I mean, we've been going for around the 12-month mark now. We were going out to different cinemas to watch predominantly old films. So we went out to watch Alien. We did Jaws on the anniversary that they did Jaws, which was fantastic. First time we'd ever seen Jaws in 3D IMAX, and it was unreal how good it was. We've done a number of films. We did a Christmas stuff. We went to watch some Christmas films. So that was really, really good. And then, like I said, when we lost the cinema in Wigan, I thought, well, okay, you know what I mean? Travelling around like this is pretty cool, but we need something close. We need something local. So me and a couple of friends put our heads together, and we came up with the idea of, well, what if we start showing something? What if we start doing something for the local community to come watch the kind of film that we're into? Yeah, not everybody might be into the stuff that we are, but there's a minority of people that will turn out to watch this stuff. So we had a scout around, we had a look around in town for a venue, and we couldn't really find anywhere. And then lo and behold, a place called Anderton's Bar and Grill popped up. Now, Anderton's is predominantly a sports bar, really good layout. If you know Anderton's, it's sort of like upstairs, open plan venue. I mean, I'll pop some pictures up here so you can sort of see what the venue looks like. But they've got 2 projectors set up in there and a multitude of TVs because it's a sports bar. They're showing multiple kinds of sport. So we found out quite quickly that a film could be showed on multiple screens or every screen in the place, which, fantastic, brilliant, that'll work for us. So we decided with the gracious host Brad, who owns Anderton's, that we was going to set up our own night and see how it happens, see how it goes. So October of last year was our first night. We touted it as a Halloween night, a Halloween special, and it was called Halloween Havoc. I'll pop the poster up for it up here. And a very good friend of mine and fellow member and fellow sort of brainstormer, guy behind the scenes, Mr. David Kennedy, aka Cherry Sheriff, for all of you know him. Fantastic friend of mine, real good Wigan lad, fantastic artist. I'll put some links down below to his work where you can go and check him out. Dave came up with a poster for it, and it looked chef's kiss. It looked fantastic. And we got these up in some local businesses around town. So HMV in Wigan, very forthcoming when it comes to this kind of stuff. They'll promote anything that you want in that store. Thanks to Tara who runs it. Yeah, he said, yeah, mate, if you want to come in here and post some posters up, you're more than welcome to. So we put some stuff up in there. We put some stuff up in Tony from Games and More. In the Grand Arcade, we put a poster up in there. Tony said he would promote it as well for us. And we did a couple of other places around town. We set up a Facebook page, like everybody does, an Instagram account, like everybody does, and we just decided to push it and see what happens. And lo and behold, on the night when we set everything up, people actually turned up, and I think we got an opening night of, I mean, did we get around 20 to 25 people? which was phenomenal. That was great. I mean, to get so many people to turn up like that for an evening, it was more than sort of the cinemas or the screeners were showing when local cinemas were putting these kind of films on. But I think what helped, we went with two sort of obscure, oddball kind of titles. So we went with the 1988 remake of The Blob, which is a personal favourite of mine, and also we went with Larry Cohen's The Stuff, which turned out to be an absolute fan favourite. I mean, people have been quoting fucking lines out of that for weeks and weeks after every other event we've done so far. Everyone keeps mentioning Chocolate Chip Charlie constantly. So it was brilliant. And I thought, well, do you know what? Maybe we've got something here. Maybe people in Wigan are looking for this kind of stuff. And the idea behind this was we was going to keep it as a free event. It doesn't cost anything to come to one of our nights, to one of our events, and participate in watching two real crap movies. You know what I mean? We're never going to show any blockbusters. We're never going to show any AAA titles. Everything we're going to be showing straight out the bottom of the bin, absolute trash kind of stuff. And people seem to lap it up. And the more and more people that got interested, the more and more people have got involved and spread the word, the better the turnouts have been. So again, for November, I did a bit of self-indulgence, and I showed two of my favourite films for that one. And again, I'll pop the poster up there. And we showed Master of the Universe and Howard the Duck. Now, for some people that are coming to these nights, they'd never seen these films. They knew of the films, but had never seen them. And a member of the club, Cathy, who obviously saw Master of the Universe and enjoyed it, as everyone did, got about halfway through Howard the Duck. And when it got to the duck sex scene where he pulls the little condom out, she was done. Like, done, dusted, had to go, had to leave. That just freaked her the fuck out, which we all found hilarious. Again, we're still talking about it. So again, there was a decent turnout. Then we roll into Christmas, and Christmas was really good. Because Dave chose one of the films. So one of the Christmas films we went with Scrooged. I thought it was a nice little crossover Christmas film, moderate horror, sort of like gateway kind of stuff, so we could have a younger audience in as well as. And then for the second film, we chose The Christmas Martian, which is a bizarre French-Canadian film from the late 70s that's dubbed into English, which is just bonkers. It's like a fever dream on acid. It's the only way I can describe it. But again, went down really, really well. So coming into January, I thought, well, we'll push for 12 solid dates for the year of 2024 and see what we can do. So we've now got a packed calendar, you know what I mean? We've got a theme for every night between sort of January and December. So for January of this year, we went with the theme of January, two Arnold Schwarzenegger films for January, and we showed Predator and Total Recall, which again was fantastic. And again, I'll throw some posts up here of the poster that Dave did. Good turnout, more testosterone that you can shake a stick at, pull some new people in for that, as word spreads a bit more and more people were sort of jumping on the bandwagon and turning up. Is this where you're showing the films? Of course these guys, come in, sit down, enjoy yourselves. And the one thing that we all strive to do is, we've got films on, you know what I mean? It's a bar, everyone's having a drink. You don't have to be quiet. You can chat, you can talk. You can take the piss out the film, like, you know what I mean? It's a good social gathering. And I didn't want the atmosphere to be all hushy and quiet. I wanted people to interact. I want people that didn't know each other to come in and go, do you know what? We've got the same outlook on film. We're into the same kind of stuff. And we've never met before. You know what I mean? It's a good social gathering. So we openly suggest that people chat and get to know each other during these things and have a few drinks, and they're really, really fun nights. So from January we go into February, and we show two John Carpenter films, which again went down an absolute storm. Again, posters there. The two that we chose were The Thing, which we had some, we've now got some younger members that started coming. So I would say around 15, 16 year olds. There's around three young guys that come, and they'd never seen The Thing. And to watch the film with them, and them having seen it before, and me knowing where the jump scares were coming, I was more interested in how their reactions were than what was happening on screen. And my God, every jump scare got these three lads fantastically, and that's brilliant to watch. Brilliant to see that some young people that have turned up have never seen these films before and are enjoying them for what they are. It's fantastic. It's what we wanted. It's what we needed. So that was a fantastic night, really good night. And again, we pulled loads of new members for that one. And again, we pulled 30, 35 people turned up for that one. Brilliant. And for last month, we did a night called Glampires, again, up here, which we took two vampire films that are sort of massive fan favourites. So we took The Lost Boys and showed The Lost Boys, and again we seem to get a lot more of a female audience turn out for that one, which is brilliant. The one thing that we didn't want it to do, I didn't want to be, was just a big group of guys that were just nerding it out together. I wanted it sort of all inviting, you know what I mean, to get everyone involved, and to see some women coming to the events and enjoying it for what it is and enjoying the environment is fantastic. It's really good. So we've got a good mixed bag of people coming up to these events and really enjoying them. And then for the second one on that night, we show Fright Night, which is one of my personal favourites. You can't go wrong with Fright Night, which then now leads us on to this month, and this month is Insect Night. And if you didn't know already and you're watching this video or you're listening to this podcast, then the night this month is the 25th of April, again at Anderton Sports Bar in the centre of town in Wigan. And this month's theme is insect. It's Insect Night, and we are showing arachnophobia and mosquito. So if you guys don't know mosquito, you are in for a treat. Arachnophobia, I remember seeing it at the cinema, and I fucking hate spiders, so that one always gives me the freaks. It's a good little film. I've always really enjoyed it. But again, if you've never seen Mosquito, that's the one. If you enjoyed the stuff when we showed the stuff, then come down, watch Mosquito. It's damn good, silly fun, over the top horror with some crazy big mosquitoes. You'll have a whale of a time. Up to now, we've got a Facebook page that's doing really well. There's like 250 members on there, and I reckon out of 250 members, we've got people, sort of 40 people that are socially active on there constantly, which means the group's getting bigger, which is really good. Again, Instagram, you'll find us on Instagram. But also, what we like to do as well is not only do we run our own nights, but we like to sort of like socially interact as well. So we're always looking to put nights out on. Again, we'll always go and support Lee Film Factory when there's stuff on over there. Last weekend, we went out to an 80s all-day disco for Lindsay's birthday, which was phenomenally good fun, for what I can remember of it, because I was really drunk. And there's stuff and ideas popping up and cropping up all the time. So if you're in the Wigan area and you want to be part of a silly film crew who doesn't take itself serious, who keeps it really light-hearted and don't overanalyze films and just take films for what they are and the pleasure that you need out of them, come and join us. You might enjoy it. You never know, you know what I mean? You might see one of your favourite films. If there's films out there that you want to watch and you want to see, don't hesitate to contact one of the people over at the film club. You can contact myself or any of the other sort of like volunteer members of staff that we've got, the moderators, whatever you want to call them, friends of the club, and say, listen, you know what I mean? We love to see these two films at film night. Is there any chance you can do it? And if I own them in this vast library of crap that's sat behind me here, we will show them. If I don't own them and it's films that I want to add to this big monstrosity of crap behind me here, I'll go out and buy them. There's always film. Now, don't get me wrong, you know what I mean? There's certain things I won't show, there's certain things we don't want to see. I don't want to see any Marvel films, you know what I mean? I just don't care. I don't want to see any AAA blockbuster titles, and I don't want to see any artsy crap. What we like to do is disengage brains, drink beers, and talk nonsense over the top of it while we do it. If we want to go and watch any artsy kind of crap or AAA titles, we'll all go out as a group and watch them. That's the way to do it. That's the way to have fun with it. But as a group of people, up to now, it's been really, really good fun. It's actually, it's a joy and a pleasure to organise the nights, to set the nights up, to do the prep for the nights. Because they're monthly, it gives us loads of time to organise and plan what we need to do. And then when we get there, unless the equipment breaks down, which it has done a couple of times, and then I've shit my pants, but then everybody else has rallied round at the back of me to sort it out. So thanks for everybody that's done that before now to help me out. The nights are really, really good. It's socially, it's a social joy to get involved with. If you're sat at home and you're watching this video or you're listening to this podcast and you live in the Wigan area and you're a little concerned about coming out or meeting new people, or you're quite anxious about it, please believe me, don't be. I know how difficult things like that can be, but we have really, really got a good set of people that are involved with this club, that turn up to these events on a regular basis. And believe me, you will have a good time, you will meet new friends, and you will get a lot out of it. Now, the other thing that we do, every event that we do, we put a free film table out. So that could be DVD or Blu-rays. We openly state to people, if you want to take a film, if you want to take a couple of films off the free table, take what you want. You know what I mean? It may be a film you've never seen before. Take them, they're free. The only thing we ask is that if you've got some films lying around at home that you don't want to watch anymore, you've done with, bring them to the club and add them to the pile. Somebody else might want to see that film. And that way, no one's A, having to pay for films that they're not 100% sure of. Everyone gets a sort of chance to see something. And B, it's not costing anybody anything, is it? And it's nice to be nice. And also the other one, I do a free poster table. So I've got a lot of original film posters, and the ones that don't mean anything to me, when I pick these big lots of posters up, I put them out for people to take. So again, there might be a poster within that lot that you might think, Tony, can I catch? Yeah, take it. Take what you want out of it. You know what I mean? It's all there to be had. And the other thing we do, every month we put a raffle on. And what the raffle does, it allows a little bit of funds to come back in the club. Again, what we do is not for profit. No one's looking to make any money out of this. But what it does do, it frees up a little stuff. So whereas a little bit of money that comes back into the club, we put that back into posters, advertising, flyers. We're looking down the lines of getting some work done so we can have some merchandise. So that could be t-shirts, badges, mugs, you name it. So just to have that little bit of reserve money in the pot helps the club along. Via us doing the raffle helps put the money in the club, which is, again, it's a really good thing. And everyone helps out with the raffle every month. Everyone puts prizes in. There'll always be a couple of posters in there. There'll always be a couple of pieces. There'll always be a couple of films in there, DVDs, Blu-rays. There'll always be a couple of Dave Kennedy's artwork in there. There's people put other things in. Pete Kennedy put some artwork in there as well a couple of months back. It's brilliant. And again, all the money that's raised within that goes into the club pot, and then the club pot pays for things the club needs. So that pretty much sums up who we are and what we do and where we're going with the club. So if you want to get in touch with us, if you look for Wigan Cult Film Club on Facebook, you can find us there. If you look for Wigan Cult Film Club on Instagram, you'll also find us there. If you want to drop us an email, it's wigancultfilmclub@gmail.com. Again, I'll put everything in the description below if you want to get hold of us. And for this episode, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.